Hello. It is once again Trusty's Vintage Live Sale with a little bit of a twist. As I did last week, if you join my channel regularly, last week I had to pre-record my live sale because as a lot of things are starting to come back post-pandemic, theater is one of the things coming back, and as of last week, my live sale, I was on stage during the live sale. Well, guess what? I'm on stage again. So I am pre-recording this live sale as well. I should go back to normal hopefully next week. And then I just have to figure out what the normal is going to be. If I continue doing, well, I will continue to do theater. I don't have any other projects lined up right now, but once I do, I just have to figure out how I'm going to kind of fit that in along with my regular job, which requires me to travel. I will say in another couple of weeks, I'll be doing a live sale on the road again. So those takes place in my hotel rooms. So, you know, it's always interesting. So I appreciate you hanging out. Hopefully I learned a few things from last week's recorded sale. In general, it seemed to be popular. Didn't have the attendance as normal because, you know, a lot of people like that live interaction. So I can't really say that I'm going to be, you know, fascinating being pre-recorded, but we'll see. But the one thing that came up is because last week was also a theme, people that weren't interested in the theme didn't really stick around for the rest of the sale. So I was very happy with the sale. I sold all but one item. So yay, thank you, everyone. And so this time I am mixing it up a little bit. So I just have more of a traditional, what my normal sale would have been. Keeping a little on the small side because it is a little different. It seemed like Nate and Katie were keeping you all entertained. Contrary to the rumor that was being spread, I am not in an all-nude production of Annie Get Your Gun or an all-nude production of Annie, because that would be a felony. So what I am doing is what should have been Matilda the Musical. I was cast as Mr. Wormwood. But because of the situation in the state of Illinois, children still, actually this might be everywhere, children are still not able to be vaccinated, and there's a lot of kids in the show, much to my chagrin. So we couldn't do the rehearsals, and so what we turned it into is kind of a cabaret, concert, music review type thing. And I am singing, if you know the show, Matilda the Musical, I am singing Mr. Wormwood's song, Telly. I also sing Smell of Rebellion, which is the song from Miss Trunchbull. So what I'm going to do is at the end of this video, I will attach a couple clips of photos and some audio clips. I do not have a lot of the show in any sort of recording version because of copyright rules and things like that. And the quality of what I have isn't always the best, but I am gonna throw those in at the end of the video. So if you are so inclined, you would be able to see a little bit, some photos from the show and hear a little bit of music, including me singing a few bars from Telly. So something to look forward to or not. So we are going to do the live sale, and if we're gonna get things started, I'm going to start with this one. I will say, because again, a lot of moving targets, I did not get my eBay auction set up in time last week. So I was going to do it off time, and then I couldn't figure out how to get the scheduling to work. I was going to do a 4-day auction, and then because evidently I can't count, I messed that up. So there is no auction ending tonight. So I intended there to be, unfortunately that did not happen. This was the item that was supposed to be in the auction that would have ended tonight. So this is going up tonight. So Katie and Nate can put in the link to my eBay channel. You can find it through my Linktree link, which is linktr.ee/th mercantile. That takes you to my eBay, my Etsy, everything. So this is going to be listed tonight. So this will end next week. So this is what should have been ending this week. So just keep that in mind. And then this item will be going up tonight because next week will be my Christmas in July sale. I don't know if the entire sale will be Christmas in July. I'm not really sure I have enough to justify a full, like, I don't know if I have enough to just do only Christmas, but I do have some cool Christmas stuff. This is one of them. I showed this in a haul video. He totally looks like Holt Howard, but he is actually a Capri Creations out of Philadelphia. So somebody was playing around with the idea of the little one-eyed Santa. Everyone that sees this thinks it's Holt Howard. It is not, but it's made in Japan. It's got that look. It's very cool. I had announced when I first got this that this was a planter with candle holders. One of the suggestions is this could be a cocktail napkin holder and that these would hold toothpicks. Do with that information as you wish. It's just a cool planter. So this is one of those items. I can't find this one under Holt Howard or Capri Creations. So I have no idea what he's going to go for. So that's when I do things in the auction. Just like if you missed the pre-recorded sale last week, I did all copper luster was my sale last week, but I could not find any that had this pink salmon color ground with the house. We found the reference to the design of the house dated back to 1820, but this piece is not marked, and so I don't know if it's more rare, less rare. I have absolutely no idea. So I gave everything a really good price last week, and like I said, all but one item sold. That one I do feel is maybe a little more special, so that one's going into the auction format just to see what ends up happening with it. So those will be going live at the top of the next hour. This video may not be running at that point, so that's why I wanted to show them now. So just keep that in mind, but they will both be posted, and then they will both end next week. So on July 22nd, I will have my regular, that will be a live sale that will actually be live, and you will be able to, those items will end, and then I'll have a new item go up. So I'll try and get back into the regular cycle. Live and learn at some point, but you can't literally, unring a bell or untake a clock. So I messed up last week and trying to get myself back on track. So I'm going to start things out as I typically do with the with the mystery box. It did turn out that I was leery of how the mystery box was going to work last week because, again, if you're just joining, this is pre-recorded. So I'm going to show you the number and you're going to guess the number. So it works a little differently than my typical sale. So I'll back up a little bit. If this is the first time you're joining me, I do not run auctions. I do not run offer ups. I do auctions on my eBay channel, which is where I feel that auctions belong. So I will usually have an item there, but for the live sales, or in this case, pre-recorded live sales, we're here to have fun. And, so we just don't do auctions. So I will give you an item. I will tell you the price, and that is the price you will pay. So it's kind of like a buy it now situation. And then I'll tell you the item number. First person that Nate and Katie see in the chat that have typed in that number, they're the person that will claim it. If you've never ordered from me before, just send me an email so I know where I'm shipping it. I will send you an invoice, which includes shipping. Prices I say tonight will not include shipping because obviously shipping changes based on where you are. I will send you an invoice. Once you pay the invoice, I will ship you the item. It's very simple. The mystery boxes work a little bit differently. It is one of the most popular items that I offer. I recognize that some people feel that the reason offer ups are more fun or more fair is because if you have a slower internet, it gives you more of a chance. There's arguments on both sides, and I don't really care. This is my channel, my sandbox. We're just gonna have fun, and in general, it works. I'm not, as I always say, turned into like a thing. I don't sell the Mona Lisa, so if you miss out, you're just missing out. It's just fun. So don't worry about it. But the mystery boxes were so popular that it's kind of like, well, I'll do it a little bit differently. So if this is your first time for my channel and a first time for my mystery box, right out of the gate, I always will tell you one of the items you'll get in the mystery box. It is a vintage maxi pad. There's a long story. Well, it's not that long, but there's a story attached to these. It's irrelevant. Just know that there will be a maxi pad in each of my mystery boxes for quite some time to come. So you'll get a maxi pad. All of my boxes are priced at 15 bucks. This is a concept that Fatbird Finds had introduced on their channel. 15 bucks is a low price. I try and keep the shipping at around 10 bucks just to be fair. So if you're farther, you'll still get a good box. Everything will have about $25 to $30 worth of merchandise in it. It'll just be lightweight items, where if you're local to the Chicago area, which is where I'm shipping out of, you might get a slightly heavier box because it doesn't cost me as much to ship. So in general, you're gonna be around 25 bucks all in if this is the only thing you buy. If you buy other items, of course, they will be combined and you'll save on shipping. So instead of telling you the number, in my mystery boxes, I make you guess the number. So they're $15, you know about what the shipping is gonna cost, And in this case, instead of making you guess across the board, I'm going to give you a range. So the mystery box, the first mystery box for the early birds that signed in on time, the mystery box is $15, and you need to give me a number that falls between 60 and 70. Between 60 and 70. I'm gonna hold it up I'm gonna hold the card up with the number covered for a little while, ramble a little bit, which is very easy for me to do if you're new to my channel, even though no one's talking back to me because I'm recording this in a room all by myself. But you should have a chance, people should be typing in. You can type in more than one number. If you type in a number, hit it enter, then hit another number. Katie and Nate know what the number is, so they're looking for not only the right number, they're looking for the first person. And by now, there should have been enough people that have typed the correct number, so I will reveal the number. So the number is 67. So number 67 is the mystery box. Katie and Nate will review the chat right now. They knew the number, so they were already looking. So they find the first person. They will post all of the winners in the chat. So again, this is pre-recorded. I cannot give a shout out to the winner, but it worked out perfectly fine last week. Just go ahead and keep your eye on the chat and watch for the winner. So congratulations to whoever typed in the number 67 first or guessed it first. You get the mystery box. So thank you very much. All right, and there will be additional mystery boxes this evening. There were supposed to be additional mystery boxes last week, and I forgot. So hopefully I'll remember to give you more. All right, one of the things, if you're new to my channel or if you're familiar with my channel, you might know, not know, I don't even know what that sentence makes no sense. One of the things I do on my channel is deep dives, and I've had a variety of subject matter and specialists that come in. I had anticipated doing a deep dive on ball jars and canning jars. Unfortunately, that did not pan out. We are not doing that deep dive. And it's a subject matter that, to be 100% honest, was never super exciting to me. It was one of those cases like maybe there is something to learn, but, you know, no. So I will teach you the one thing that I learned about canning jars by selling you this next lot. So ball is one of the names for canning jars. I have a ball jar, and this ball jar has the tin lid, and in that lid is a white milk glass liner. So right off the bat, if you're looking for age and you're trying to find older jars, you can find these, I'm not gonna say easily, but they're very easily identifiable. And since a lot of canning jars come in standard sizes, you can often find a lid that may not have originally gone with a jar, but if you wanna get an older jar, it's a tin lid with the milk glass container. The jar itself, when you're dealing with ball, do I have anything white? What can I tuck into this so you can see? Just happens that my writing paper right now is green, so we'll see if this works. Not really. Anyway, this is one of those cases that ball jars, there's a number of different fonts that the ball company used when they created their canning jars. And one of the earliest ones, which puts it to around 1910, you can see that there's an underline to the ball. That underline has a loop to it that looks just like the L's. So if you've got the two L's and then another L in the loop, you've got one of the older jars. So this was one I had picked up so I would have an example when we did the deep dive. We're now not doing the deep dive, so I'm selling my example. So we've got the jar itself, and then I had also picked up the Ball Blue Book. And what this one is it includes recipes and things that you could use. You can see how some of the ingredients have been canned, how to use canning, some of the conversion rates, timetable for processing soups and stews, all associated with the Ball Canning Company. So this one is copyrighted in 1941. So you've got that right there in the bottom. Where'd it go? There you go. So copyright 1941. It's in fair condition. The spine is actually very tight, but you can see there's a little bit of bumping and dents across some of the edges. But inside, I don't think this was ever used to make the recipes because there's no food staining or anything like that. I think it's really just has the outer damage because of its age, 1941. So I am selling both the ball jar and the ball blue book as a lot. And the two of those together is $15. So $15 for the ball jar and the blue book. $15 by giving me number 23. $15 number 23 for the older ball jar as well as the 1941 ball blue book. All right. I think I did this in a haul video. Yes, I did a haul video. So this was an item within the last couple of weeks. I'd done one of my first overnight business trip since everything was shut down. I traveled to Minnesota, and on my way home, I traveled through Wisconsin, and these were picked up in northern Wisconsin. So we talked about this a little bit when I did them on the live sale, because you have a fairly straightforward handmade crocheted doily, mat, whatever. It has the ruffles are built into it. It's flat in the middle, so you can put a candle or a dish or whatever you want, but it does have the little dimensionality of the ruffles. And the colors that are in this one, you can see the dark brown, the russets, the blues, are the same colors that are in this one, but this one has a hole. And we never did get a unified agreement of what this was for. The only thing that we felt might have made sense, two things kind of came up. One would be, was it something for a candlestick, a taper, that this would have gone through it? I didn't like that solution, because even if that's what this was for, if it were functional instead of just being decorative, any of the wax would have melted on. It would have been very difficult to get wax out of this. So I don't think it would have been designed for that. But somebody did have the idea that it would have been, the little pans, sometimes, particularly 70s, probably when this was from, would have had that little knob, that this would have fit over the little knob. So when you grabbed it, you could grab the knob, but those knobs are always short, so that this would actually give you a little bit of cushion between where the knob came up. You would then have this be on the hot top of the pot lid or the pan lid. That was as good a guess as any that I heard, and that one, at least, I could actually see that functionally, taking place. The fact that they're a pair, this would then be a functional kitchen item. This one, because of the ruffle, I think would be less functional as a hot pad because of those ruffles, but, whatever. They're kitschy. They do have a very distinct color scheme. They were fun to pick up. I've got them at a good price. I'm passing them off at a good price because hopefully somebody will give these a good home. They're not staying in my home, but I don't have any crocheted anything. So, I grew up with crochet. Trust me, I've had enough. I don't need it again. But if you got the right color scheme, or you're just looking for something kitschy, or you want to be creative, as Miss Scott from Old Curiosity Shop, put that as a little poncho for your pet mouse. You can do whatever you want. It's only $5. So $5 for the pair of hand crocheted doily and whatever. $5 by giving me number 12. $5, number 12, and that gets you the pair. All right. Also, going kitschy, we've got I don't think I've ever had anything in this. I guess I've had the era, but not this specific. It's Howdy Doody time, and according to Mr. Howdy Doody and his plate, it is a Taylor Smith and Taylor plate, well stamped. And if the stamping makes sense for them, as it does for many other makers of China at that time, this was made in 1951. That sounds about right. I would have thought Howdy Doody was a little bit later than that, but it's definitely before my time. So this falls into one of those cases where the people that are familiar with Howdy Doody are getting older. So some people know of it, and I'm probably fall into that category. This is definitely before my time. I did not grow up with Howdy Doody, but I know Howdy Doody time. I know if you guys were not my Huckster Hecklers, you would be my peanut gallery, because that was something also from Howdy Doody. So when someone says, no comments from the peanut gallery, your peanut gallery was part of Howdy Doody. Now, I don't know if there's a peanut gallery in anything else, but I've heard it referred to under Howdy Doody. So it is simply, I don't know if it would necessarily fall as a dinner plate, but I think it's dinner plate size for the 50s, you know, when, you know, you had to like catch your own food or whatever. You didn't put as much on your plate because it is 8.5 inches. So I think that does qualify as the dinner plate. Nowadays, dinner plates could be up to 10 inches. But I think this is too big to be the luncheon plate. I do not know because I've never found another tailor. I don't know what Taylor Smith and Taylor did in this design. So you've got a Howdy Doody plate. You can see there's a little bit of wear in, this was actually somebody's plate. So there's a little bit of wear in the Howdy. There also, this appears to be, I think that is a manufacturer's defect because it's not a chip. It's just kind of a place where the glaze didn't really seal up. And unfortunately, a unscrupulous salesperson, a true huckster, not a trusty huckster, put the price tag over that so you didn't see that that was there. But I don't anticipate this is something you're using for your regular dinner plate because who knows, something made in 1951, that could all be lead. I have no idea. So to me, this is a decorative piece. It's showing a little some vintage wear, just shows the authenticity of its age. So it's a Taylor Smith and Taylor Howdy Doody plate. It is $10. $10 for Howdy Doody time. $10 by giving me number 32. $10, 32 for the Howdy Doody plate. All right. Last week, I made the absolutely inexcusable faux pas of not including a coaster in my sale. That is probably the first time, and I'm going to claim that it doesn't count against me because it was a pre-recorded sale. It was not technically a live sale, but it would be the first time in my sales in over a year, that I did not include a coaster in my sale. So I needed to make up for that. And I didn't have one because last week's sale was entirely copper luster themed. I just was selling the copper luster. I just sold what I had. I didn't even think about the fact that I had no copper luster coasters. So I did not include any coasters. But I do have a pretty epic coaster now. This is also a case where if you follow me on Instagram, I will try and show previews of items that will show up in the sale, even these pre-recorded sales. And this is one of the items that showed up. It is a uranium glass coaster. It's got the great sunburst, starburst design at the bottom. I do not know who made, actually I do know who made this. It's the Federal, because it's got the F in the, shield. It is in perfect condition, and yes, it does glow. We'll see how good the glow is here. Yeah, pretty good. My Instagram, I might even drop a picture from my Instagram to show a little bit more of the glow, because in a less well-lit space, this thing really glowed. But because I've got such bright lights coming at me for the recording the video, it's kind of hurting the... But you can still see it's got some great glow in this. So you've got a uranium glass, Federal glass coaster, and it is available for $10. $10 for the uranium glass, $10 by giving me number 35. $10, 35 for the uranium glass coaster. All right. I am about to tip this box over, so hold on. Okay. Next item is, I have an affinity for these, but admittedly not something that I'm trying to build a collection. This is just when I really first, before I was ever a reseller, when I was just kind of learning about antiques, I was always gravitated to this style of, this Asian style with the moriage. I didn't know that's what it was called at the time, moriage, painted, designed dishes. Sometimes they're German, sometimes they're French, a lot of times they're Japanese. This one has a Western motif built, designing it, like that definitely looks Western European in the sense that it doesn't have some of the Asian motifs built onto it. But the lightness of this, I do think this is probably a made in Japan piece, although it is not marked. It's a 3-footed bowl. Each foot has has the paint and some gold to give it some design. But as many of them, the design itself is on the inside, not on the outside. So this would never have been used as a master salt because you would have destroyed the moriage inside, and worse, you'd have destroyed it and then put it in your food as it fell off and went into the salt. So maybe it would be considered a nut dish. Sometimes with the heavy designs, nuts would not be as abrasive. But I can't imagine it was sauce. I can't imagine it was anything else. Same thing, unfortunately, with the lights coming this bright. I'm not sure you're going to see it, but it is translucent. So it's possible that it's bone china, that it could be European, but I think it's made in Japan. So either way, it's a beautiful small piece. It'd be very lightweight to ship, definitely under a pound, so it's definitely going to go first class. Just a small little decorative bowl, whatever you want to use it for. It's only $6. So $6 for the little porcelain bowl, $6 by giving me number 47. $6, number 47 for the little green and gold footed dish. All right. Got a couple animals tonight. So this is my first. Now, I do not know my waterfowl. I have no idea if this is a heron, if this is an egret, if this is something else. I don't think it's a flamingo. But it does kind of have like a shell pink color to it. It's not quite white. It's got a little bit of pink, but it's got I think the distinction is that little crest on its head. So I think that's supposed to be indicative of something, but I don't know what. It is not marked. It is porcelain, and it's just super sweet. And it'd make just a great little shelf sitter. Springtime, because this light pink, you've got an animal vignette. Because of the pink, you can put it into a Valentine's Day vignette, or it's just, I think he's pretty. I think he's got some cool lines to it. Just check out what his neck is doing there. I really liked him, so I picked him up, and he is available to you for $9. So $9 for the little egret, heron, whatever he is. $9 by giving me number 31. $9.31 for the little egret. All right, I've had a couple items over the last few sales from an estate sale that I had gone to that was from a Wade collector. And here are two more items that I'm including as a pair, because I think they go together. So you can see they're not, color-wise, this one has a little bit more blue and some blue down on the bottom. This one's more the traditional Wade, all green. But the handles are the same shape, although the one's a little bit more tapered at the bottom than this one. But the reason I think they go together is because they basically both are showing some sort of a horse-drawn coach. Now this one actually says Irish jaunting car. Now that's a term you don't hear very often. So we've got the Irish jaunting car on that one. This one doesn't say anything underneath it. It's just got another, but you can see it's like another kind of a carriage, something like an omnibus pulled by a pair of horses. So it's got the coachman on there with the whip. So again, I feel I picked them up at the same place, so they had it as a collection. I only have the two. I don't know if there were a lot of others that were made, or this is just a design they made over multiple years, and they were picked up at different times, and that's why they're slightly different. They do have the Wade. They do have the Wade stamp on it. I had to do a little bit of looking because I was pretty sure by all shapes, colors, and it just indicated that it was Wade. But admittedly, I didn't know if that was one of the Wade marks. So I had to do a little bit of digging. The internet is a lovely thing. And even better when you can find the internet that is showing the actual stamps, not saying, oh, I think it's this, which is hard when you're looking on eBay or Etsy. People just guess. So I found one of the reference books that actually showed the series of stamps that they changed over the years. And this stamp was introduced in 1953, and in 1954 they added the Made in Ireland at the bottom. So these date to know earlier than 1954. I could not tell how long they used that stamp, but there were some other stamps that were later, so I'm not sure, you know, what range this was from. But it is a Wade stamp. It just doesn't say the word Wade. It says Irish porcelain. There's an E in the middle of the clover, and then made in Ireland. For whatever reason, Wade decided to go incognito for a while. But it's a pair of Wade cups. You know, you could turn them, basically you could use them as shot glasses, because even as a demitasse or a cappuccino, this would be pretty small, but it'd be just about right for a shot glass. So you've got a pair of Wade mini mugs, shot glasses, whatever you want. The pair of them is $12. $12 for the pair of Wade mugs by giving me number 28. $12, number 28 for the pair of Wade mugs. All right, so I messed up and didn't have coasters last week, so I'm making sure I have coasters this week, and I've got more coasters. So these are German coasters, but they are German coasters as, I guess you would consider them souvenir dishes, souvenir pieces of St. Thomas Virgin Islands. So you've got the blue and white porcelain. This one is Fort Christian. You can see down at the bottom it says St. Thomas Virgin Islands. So you've got the fort, and then on the back it's the Huckster Porcelain Company of Germany. They did all of the, it's a very distinct style that they do. I have other coasters, some in my personal collection, others that I've sold. They're always, you know, this very nice flat. It can be used as a decorative plate, but there's no way to hang it. So really it's flat enough that this would be designed as a coaster. You can do whatever you want with it. So this one is the Fort Christian one, and then this to go along with it is Bluebeard's Castle. So if you like pirates or know somebody who likes pirates, you've got the same thing, St. Thomas Virgin Islands on the bottom, Bluebeard's Castle at the top, and you've got the image of the castle, and again, the Huckster logo on the back. So they are German porcelain coasters advertising St. Thomas Virgin Islands. It says that they were produced exclusively for Little Switzerland. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a store, if that's a brand. I don't know what Little Switzerland would have been doing in St. Thomas, but who cares? They're cool blue and white porcelain with the Bluebeard's Castle and Fort Christian. The pair of Huckster porcelain coasters is $12. $12 for the German porcelain, $12 by giving me number 3. $12, number 3 for the pair of blue and white coasters. All right. This also came from the estate that did all the Wade. I do not think this is Wade. They did have other items. This one, though, is not marked. Now, I did pick up a couple other items that, doing some research, I discovered were Brush McCoy. This one is not a shape that I found. To me, they kind of look like pilgrims, and that kind of looks like a really, really big pumpkin. So the fact that the pumpkin is so big, I don't know if that makes those things gnomes. You know, he does kind of have a little pointy hat on. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. It does kind of have the look, like if you kind of look at just the guy, I'm assuming it's a guy, the gnome, the dwarf, whatever, he does kind of have the look of the way they did the Wade Whimsies. So maybe it is Wade, but even the Wade Whimsies, they put something either on the bottom or around the edge so you would know whose it was. This one doesn't have anything. So it's just kind of a cool little air plant, small planter, green color. I don't know if they're supposed to be pilgrims, but again, pilgrims with just the most giant pumpkin ever. There's something on the back that I think might be significant, but I have no idea. It's like there's leaves on the back and then 2 big circles. But like not circles. I mean, it's like there's some sort of plant, like almost like that's a cactus. I don't know. And I couldn't find him. So he's just a cool, he's got the matte finish. You know, this is more it's not even like bisque porcelain. It's just got a matte painted finish. It's got the green. It doesn't have the shiny surface. Just a cool little planter with a very distinct look. So if you're, this fits into, I think it would fit into holiday decor. I think you could make them pilgrims, but you could make them something else as well. It is $10. So $10 for the little planter, $10 by giving me number 41. $10, 41 for the little maybe Wade, maybe Brush McCoy pilgrim planters. I mentioned that I had animals. This is one of the other ones. Can't remember if I've got any other animals, but this one, again, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen him. He's a cutie. It is a little hand-carved bear. There's a couple of odd things about this little bear. First of all, you can see kind of the way his face was drawn and seems very simple. But the fact is, I think he is hand-carved, in which case I would think you'd have to have some age to, carve a piece of wood. But on the bottom is, I'm assuming, the artist's name. And his artist's name is Sam. And then you can see the number 90. So Sam did this in 1990. And just looking at the letters of Sam and looking at the 9, particularly of the number 90, this to me looks like it was done by a kid. And the face, I would say definitely was done by a kid. So I don't know if this is a case where maybe a father carved this and then let the kid paint the face on. And then the father or mother put the child's name on the bottom. Or, I don't know, I've never carved wood. Maybe when you try and carve your name, that's what it looks like. So, it looks like you're an adult and it looks like you're carving as a child. I have no idea. I just thought he was sweet. I mentioned this before. One of the estate sales that I went to had an entire collection of bears. And I've been selling off the collection, putting some items into mystery boxes. This was just one of the little sweet pieces that I just like him a lot. And he's not marked in any way. It's just one of those cases where he's a cutie, and I thought he deserved a home for somebody either that likes wood carvings or likes bears or just likes things that are cute. And so he is hand-carved bear, available for $9. So $9 for the little bear, made by Sam in 1990, $9 by giving me number 46. $9.46 for the wooden bear. Another item, if you followed me on Instagram, this is another item that I had posted, and it got quite a few comments, some interaction on it, because it is a little bit different, and it is the only item I have this evening that is a multiple. So if you haven't been on my channel before, I try and do multiples whenever I can, but because I only do vintage, it's kind of hard to do multiples. So this is a case where I found a collection of new old stock of Griffin suede dressing. So the box, I have 7 of these available. So this will be the case, the first 7 people that claim the number will be able to get one of these. The box itself, they're all in the same condition. They're all new old stock. There's a little thing on the back that says to prevent bottle tipping while in use, break perforation, then insert bottle and opening. A couple of them, some of the perforation's been pushed in a little bit, but they're all still solid. So that'd be the only differential between them, but there's really no impact on price for that. And I really don't even understand how that works, but I guess it's to keep it from tipping over, because what is in the box is still the original bottle of suede dressing. So this is a liquid, which it has significance because that means I cannot ship priority mail. So if you do purchase this from me, I will be shipping the entire order, this included, because it'll still save you money on shipping. I would ship all of this parcel ground, and so comparable in price. I don't get as good of discounts on parcel ground as I do on priority mail, but you'll still get some discounts. You'll just get it a little bit slower because I can't ship it by air. The USPS does not allow liquids to go by air. So I can ship it to you. It'll just change how I ship it. So you get in the box is the bottle, and you can hopefully see, because it is a blue dye, the bottle has basically taken on a blue tint. In the box also includes a little folded thing of directions, which has some really cool graphics on it by itself. So you've got the directions for use, it's kind of the cool font, and then please try our way first. So you've got that the little cool drawing at the top. This comes with it. This one, I don't think I ever found a date on this. No, and the address on the back. Oh no, here we go. Oh, I did. Okay, sorry, 1949. So it does have a date. So this is what's interesting about that is, and I've mentioned this on videos before. You can see this was in Brooklyn, and it has the Brooklyn 5, New York. So it's the 1-digit zip code. Those didn't even get introduced until 1948. So this is 1949. So they were already using it. They started right out of the gate. So you've got the box, the bottle. Bottle has, most of them have a little bit of oxidation there on the top. This is indicative of all of them. The directions and the little cool applicator thing. So all of that fits in the box, and the box itself just has a super, check out that graphic on it. It is, like I said, it's suede dressing, and it is dark blue. So blue suede shoes. Here you go. I have 7 of these available. And because I got them at a great price, I'm passing on a great price to you. They are only $5 each. So $5 gets you the box, the bottle with the liquid, the directions of paper, and the little applicator thing. $5, and this will go to the first 7 people. If you want more than one, type in the number, hit enter, then type the number again, and we'll just claim the first 7 people we see in the chat will get these. I price them in a way that I'm hoping all 7 sell. Because of the fact that they have liquid, it does change how I have to ship, so I want to make sure they sold. So I'm selling them all for $5. You get the entire collection for $5 and giving me number 51. 51, $5, number 51 to get you all 5 of the, $5 gets you the set, and there are 7 sets available. So the first 7 people get those. So I'm going to kill a little time while Nate figures out and watches for the 7 people to get that one. So I'm going to move on to the next item, which has a little bit of explaining to do. So while Nate is doing that, I want to make sure I give him the time. So the next item is simple enough. It is a Victorian 3-dimensional book. And it is copyrighted 1998. So we're not talking about super, super old here. But this is really cool. So as you can see, well, hopefully you can see, here's a regular piece of paper. And you can see how much taller this book is. So this is going to be over a pound, and it's, but I can wrap this in paper to ship it. It should be expensive to ship. And I might be able to ship this media mail because technically it is considered a book. But it is not just a book because it is the Victorian dollhouse book. And so although it has a spine, you probably saw something like this in Borders, Barnes & Noble type thing, little gift items. When you open it up, the idea is each set of pages opens into a room. And if you open it up all the way, it's a 360-degree dollhouse. So you've got little ribbons that ties the 2 backs of the books together, and then you've got the entire house all the way around. Now, it's not ancient, but there is definitely some age to it, and that age is causing problems like this first house here is trying to pull away from the book, the binding. So you can see there's some adhesive there that's just got old. So there might need to be a little bit of DIY repair going into some of these because that piece is pulling away from the binding, and one of the floors, here it is no longer a floor. It fell in. because it also, the adhesive basically gave away. So it's got the little chandelier on it for the floor underneath it. There's a place for it to go. It just would need to be taped back in. So there's definitely some issues with this. I knew that when I bought it, but I still felt like even if it's just as something you just set in the corner, it's just a super cool conversation piece. Or if you have a family that, you know, you want to use it as a dollhouse, it is just a super cool, there's just some super cool room designs in there that, you know, just kind of would make it fun to play with. I just thought it was super, super cool. So hopefully that gave Nate enough time to announce the 7 winners, assuming there were 7 people that wanted those. You know, you run that risk too in a recorded sale. So hopefully I'm not trying to rush anybody. This ends up being the next item. So it's the Victorian Dollhouse book from 1998 with a little bit of condition issues. So I took that into consideration when I priced it. So the Victorian Dollhouse book is only $8. So $8 for the Dollhouse book by giving me number 34. $8, number 34 for the Victorian Dollhouse book. All right, next item. I should have measured before I started, so I apologize for that. So let me do a quick measurement now. It is a square tablecloth, I would say probably from the 40s or the 50s. And it is square in size to the tune of roughly 50 inches square. It is a printed design. It's not embroidered or anything like that. It has the flowers in the corners as well as along the edges. So you can see now there are some condition issues in this because I did not try and wash this. I'm not particularly knowledgeable in vintage textiles. I owned a quilt shop for 10 years, but that was not, we didn't deal with vintage all that often. So I do not know the best way to deal with these. So there are some stains in this that I'm assuming could be reversible, but I don't know. Because you can see there's another one there. That kind of looks like, I don't know, Coke pop stain. There are no tears to it, and the seams all seem to be in good condition. They all seem tight. The threading is not coming out. So from that regard, it is in good physical condition. There's just some spotting issues. I'd like to say it's going to be easy to repair that or clean it. I don't know. You can also see there's a little bit of discoloration where it had been folded. That is a very common problem with vintage textiles. And here's a weird tip. This I picked up from, we did something when I owned the quilt shop with my ex-wife. We went to the Colonial Williamsburg Textile Collection and got a private tour. If you're dealing with anything with any sort of antique or even vintage textiles, what is a good rule of thumb is don't fold it in half, because everyone folds it in half. So if you're gonna store it, fold it in thirds or even just fold down 1/3. So that way, you know, you can even kind of tell this one has been folded in storage for quite a while. So there is a crease that's running right down the middle of both sides. And so every time that gets folded since then, it's just going to reinforce that crease. If the fabric is really, really old, then it's going to start getting threadbare, and that's where it's going to start tearing, or it's just going to wear away. So if the next time you fold it, instead of folding it immediately in half, fold it into thirds. So if you're comfortable, even now, even for stuff that's not all that old, you will find blankets and things folded in my closet. Now that I live alone, I still have stuff folded in thirds, just because that's something that was drummed into my head about vintage fabrics. So I guess, so color-wise, again, I'm thinking 40s or 50s. I could be wrong because it is in pretty good shape for something that old. But that just seemed to be, those flowers just seemed to be like a 40s, if not 30s style. So because of the staining that I can't swear is going to come out, I did try and keep the price attractive on this. So a 50-inch square vintage tablecloth is $10. So $10, 50-inch square for the tablecloth, $10 by giving me number 14. $10, 14 for the tablecloth. All right, you waited long enough. I'm going to do another mystery box. So same way I did the last one, I'm not going to tell you the number. I'm going to make you guess the number. Same idea. You're going to get another maxi pad, and it's going to be a $15 box, and you need to guess the number. You can guess more than once. Just hit your number, hit enter, and then guess again. This time the number falls between 50 and 60. The number falls between 50 and 60. So go ahead and start entering your numbers. Once again, Katie and Nate will be watching the chat. They know what the number is in advance. They cannot be bribed, but they know what number to look for because I'm sitting here holding this, rambling again in a room by myself, recording this in advance, having no idea how long it's going to take someone to guess the number. But in general, people seem to have a pretty good way of finding the number pretty quickly. So again, these are pretty popular. So hopefully you like this style. You know, just kind of a different way to try and claim it. And it doesn't matter how fast your internet is because now you're just guessing. You know, anyone has as much luck as anybody else getting it. So hopefully by now somebody has figured out what the number is, and Katie and Nate have found that person, and that person will have been the first person to type in the number 56. So 56 was the number for the second mystery box. And again, $15. If you've never bought from me before, just make sure you're sending me an email of where you're located so I know where I'm shipping to, and I will change the contents of the box to make sure that your shipping cost is going to be around $10, so that you're not forced with, you're not going to have a 10-pound box going to California. So, all right, coming down to only a few more items. Next one I picked up also on my trip. And I have a feeling I damaged it on my trip too, and I feel kind of bad about that because I don't think I would have bought it had I seen this damage. So I've adjusted the price to accommodate it, but it is a Milton Bradley beginning sounds. I'm going to say game, although I think it is somewhat educational. Well, I guess games can be educational. But you can see it's got the Milton Bradley on name. It does have a copyright of 1977. Down there at the bottom. I don't think these characters are anything, I don't think they're licensed. That's not Magilla Gorilla. I don't think these are from any specific show or anything like that. These are simply Milton Bradley. They're educational division. And what they are is, let's see, I did not realize this was taped. It gives instructions of how to work with beginning sounds. So you've got the preface. Visual discrimination and vocabulary development are prerequisites to reading, spelling, and language arts. Introduction. Beginning sounds is designed to train in picture recognition, picture matching, labeling pictures with words, and familiarization with beginning word sounds. Objectives. Students will name picture cards. Students will match picture cards with the same beginning sound. Students will discriminate between beginning sounds. So there's a whole bunch of serious things you can do, because what you have is really probably the value of this game. As a vintage game, you have this set of cards. So again, these are all from 1977. Each one of them actually has its own copyright right on there. So you've got an iron, a 0, an O. I'm actually not sure what that one is. Envelope, needle, ore, radio, tire. So some of them, like, they get into, I'm assuming something like this is grass, but I don't know, there's flowers in it. It's like, some of these, they don't say what they are. So I'm not 100, I guess if you're the parent or you're the teacher, you can say this is grass. So then you need to find something else that starts with a G, I guess. This one, you're welcome. Is it a television or is it a clown? Either way. Foot, ankle, toes, extremity. So some of these, mix up a little bit, necklace, but they just, all of them, I'm not going to guess which finger that is. But they all just have these great, cool graphics that I think these by themselves could be framed and just make a really cool decor for a kid's room. Definitely it's a game, so you could also play it as the game, because there's just, again, it's like late 70s, but some of the art probably was designed maybe a little bit earlier than that, because you've got some of those bright colors that seem to even go into the 60s. You got the star, the kite. You know, this one I'm assuming is a Jeep, which I find interesting. Not car or truck. I mean, so I guess Jeep. So, and you still have all of these. So it's a set. The box, unfortunately, is what I damaged because I do not recall this puncture. So I have a feeling this was in my stuff that I bought and I must have set something on it and it pushed down. So unfortunately the box is torn. Luckily it's off to the side because this is something, I did a video at an antique store in Naperville, Illinois. They had an entire collection of these board game boxes that they had cut down to standard frame sizes. This to me is screaming for that, especially now that I punctured the side. You can just cut that down and put this probably an 11 by 14 or an 8 by 10 frame, and you've just got a really cool looking piece of art that no one else is going to have. You know, you're not going to find that at Michael's. So it's cool. Unfortunately, the box is damaged, so it still has all of this great art in it, whether you do it for junk journaling, you do it for decor, but I recognize it is not in perfect condition. If you watch my channel, you know I don't like to carry stuff that's damaged. So, but I'm going to because I still think it's cool. I'm just going to price it accordingly. It's $5. So $5 for the beginning sound, the box with all of those cards. You can do with as you want. And it's not particularly heavy. It's probably going to go over a pound, but not by much. And I could probably, because the box is already, like the corners are already torn, I might even be able to use like a large padded envelope for this. So it probably is going to be over a pound, but this is not going to be expensive to ship. So it's $5 for the beginning sounds game. $5 by giving me number 74. $5.74 for airplane. All right. I have not had one of these in a while, so I was super excited when I came across it. I love Korok. If you're not familiar with Korok, Korok is a resin that was invented, and the company was started in the 1950s. So we're on the late end of mid-century modern, and they did exist for quite some time, long into the 80s, and I think even into the 90s. So sometimes by the design, you can sometimes figure out how old the pieces are. I found this. It is a Korok tray. Unlike most pieces I found, this one does not have one of the foil labels on the back that tells the story of Korok, but it is molded down here in the bottom that says Korok, Monterey, California. I don't know the progress of how they marked their pieces. I'm going to assume that this is probably one of the later ones. I think the fact that, so what Korok is it's resin that makes the background, but then all of the pieces are inlaid into that. And you can see on this one, this is all metal. Basically, it's all metal. It looks like wood, but I don't know if that's going to be wood or not. Might be wood. I don't know. To me, that kind of looks like the painted ladies of San Francisco, but there's only 3 of them, and usually they show more than that. So I don't know if this is just kind of like a Victorian Queen Anne house street scene, and you can just see the detail of the brass inlay, and then all of the brown is what I think is wood, but maybe it's another type of metal that just contracts against it. It's in great condition. There's a little bit, you could probably polish it up a little bit. Olive oil does great for Korok. Really brings the luster back to it. It's a beautiful piece. Probably should go on to Etsy, but I got it at a really good price, so I like sharing stuff like that here. And so this Korok tray with the house design, it's only $20. So $20 for the Korok tray, $20 by giving me number 58. $20.58 for the Korok house scene tray. All right. Next item I picked up. It's one of those cases that you remember things from your childhood and you think like, try and place them. I don't know why I know this name. I guess just because she was famous, and she was probably famous into my childhood because she dates to 1943. It's Sonia Henny. And so what I have is this, it's like a flocking, it's like a suede finish or an ultra suede finish which looks like at some point had a feather, so like a feather boa next to it, so a bunch of feathers on the back of it. It is a program of Sonja Henie, the ice skater, from 1942-1943. So you can see the dates are there now, right on either side of her star. So Miss Sonja Henie's sixth triumphant tour. So she was doing tours in the middle of the war. Maybe that's why I recognize her. The 1943 Hollywood Ice Review, as produced by Hollywood Ice Productions, is a new and refreshing musical review on skates that is rapidly becoming an eagerly awaited American entertainment institution. So maybe she was like the precursor to, ice capades? So, like, there's a whole bunch of people on ice skates in that picture. Now, what I didn't notice until I opened this up, it's produced by Hollywood Ice Production, which is based in Chicago. So maybe I just know the name because I grew up around Chicago. Maybe this is a regional thing. But Sonja Henie, I don't think she's Chicago. She's from Chicago. I'm assuming she's something Scandinavian. Scenes from Miss Henie's latest 20th Century Fox screen triumph, Iceland. So she did movies. I didn't know that. So you've got this great little thing of a movie poster for Iceland. You've got some imagery talking about her steps to fame. It's basically one of these, like a program that you would buy if you went to the Ice Capades or evidently the Sonja Henie tour. And it's a little photo book of Sonja Henie's life and some of the things about the production. So she does the tango on ice. So you can see how you do the tango on ice. Speed and leaps. So she was evidently a jumper. So it's just kind of a cool little book. I had basically picked up a lot of ephemera, and this was just kind of like a fun little thing. I'm like, you know what, that's kind of different. So maybe a little specialty, maybe something that should end up on, and maybe will end up on Etsy if it doesn't sell here. But for now, I picked it up at such a good price. I figured, hey, I'm going to offer it, and I'm offering it for $6. So $6 for the 1942 ice skating program from Sonja Henie. $6 by giving me number 40. $6, number 40 for the Sonja Henie program. Only a couple things left. I kind of overcompensated a little bit because I didn't have coasters last week. Well, I got them now. So this is another set of coasters. These are souvenir coasters, clearly souvenir coasters from Jamaica. They're, I don't know, is that bamboo? I don't know, what do they have in Jamaica? Yeah, so it's I don't think it's teak. I don't know what that type of wood is considered, but you've seen it. It's very, 60s, 70s. These were made in Taiwan, so you were probably around the 70s. And they're all identical, and they all show rafting, steel drums, bus, to the market. So you've got all the different designs, but all four are the same. Just kind of a fun little set. Jamaica's still popular as now as it was back in the 70s. I have a feeling the steel drum guys probably look a little different than that right now. But you've got the set of 4 Jamaica coasters for $5. So set of 4 Jamaica coasters, $5 by giving me number 69. $5.69 for the Jamaica coasters. All right, next item. This also I showed in one of my haul videos. I had also picked this up. I think this actually was in Minnesota where I picked this one up, but it was on my last trip. It is the Girl Scouts Sing Around the World. So we did a little chat when we did this as on the haul video. People were trying to figure this out. Date-wise, it says, I want to say there was a date on this. No, this was the one that has the zip code. So this one has the 2-digit zip code again, so it's between 1948 and 1963. This is what the album itself looks like. It's 33 1/3 speed. It was songs from many lands sung by Girl Scouts of the USA, produced under the personal supervision of the Metropolitan Opera star Nanette Guilford. So it's got the Girl Scout. It was an official Girl Scout production. And you could find the lyrics to these songs in the Girl Scout handbooks that were available. I do not have a record player, so I cannot verify that this is playable. To me, this was purchased for the kind of cool decorative factor. If you're a former Girl Scout, you're a Girl Scout troop leader, whatever the case may be, Mrs. Knutson, or yeah, something like that. This was hers. Unfortunately, she decided to put her name on it. So unfortunately, you've got a little ownership issue there. But in general, it's just kind of a cool graphic that, again, probably is from the 60s, I would guess, just based on the graphics that are on the front of that. And it was once sold for $2.98. I am now selling it for $6. So $6. And also worth mentioning, if this is the only thing you buy, I don't know if it'll make that big of a difference because it's not going to weigh much, but albums can get shipped by media mail. So if it makes a difference, I could ship it media mail. But it's light enough, it probably first class is going to be about the same. So $6 for the Girl Scout Sings album, $6 by giving me number 42. $6, 42 for the Girl Scout album. Next item, we've got 3 items left. So the next one is... The next 2 actually are like flashbacks from my childhood. So this was an estate sale that I went into, and they were clearly it was probably the parents, the adult children were probably my age, and their parents were of my parents' age, because so much of what I saw in this estate sale was so similar to what I grew up with, including a set of Tupperware bowls. If you've watched my channel before, you know I have my own night terrors about camping. We used to have a camper, and we had one of the campers that the big one that you pulled. It slept 11. It's insane, but so it had all the dishes, had all the different stuff. Well, a lot of what we had was Tupperware. These were the bowls that we had, because as you're pulling your camper, if the cabinets opened and everything fell out, you didn't want it to break. And trust me, Melmac breaks. Tupperware does not. So this is a set of 4 of these Tupperware bowls. I don't remember if this style ever had a lid. I do not have the lids. I want to say they didn't, because I want to say we use these for cereal, not for storage. But I could be wrong. There were bowls that had similar to this that had lids, but I think those were bigger. There's a couple of places like this one. You can see, hopefully you can see, there's like a little scuff there at the top. Because that's what happens to Tupperware when it gets rubbed the wrong way or goes through the dishwasher too many times. In general, these were all in really good condition. There's just a couple that had the little Tupperware scuffs in them. So I'm selling the entire set. It's really just for your own trip down memory lane. I'm selling the entire set for $5. So $5 for the set of 4 Tupperware bowls. And they're pretty lightweight. With the box, we're going to be approaching a pound, but I think we're still going to be under a pound. So if this is the only thing you buy, they can go first class. $5 for the set of 4 Tupperware bowls. $5 by Give Me Number 1. $5, number 1 for the set of 4 bowls. And as I said, the next 2 items were flashbacks from my past. Here's the other one. We had these. They are leisure lamps, and I'm pretty sure we had that green one. So this is the harvest gold color, as opposed to the avocado green. It is a lamp that you would put, it's got an extra light bulb in there and everything rolling around, but this is those lamps that you'd put those really big batteries in, so that the battery itself basically weights it down. Let's see, does it say what kind? Doesn't even say. I guess they just assume you. Oh no, wait, here's the top. The box is in rough condition. The lid, the top of it tore off. So it's a cordless, battery-operated leisure lamp, perfect companion for camping, trailers, boats, patio, and emergencies. Use long life spring terminal 6-volt lantern batteries. I'm assuming those are still available because they probably have more modern versions of this. But the benefit, those were those really big batteries. The battery's not included, so it's easier for me to ship and lighter weight. But features soft diffused light, no glare shade. Yeah, it's plastic. I could be surprised how much light would even come out of it. Considering the bulb, we're not talking about, you know, a super big bulb. Safe, no fumes, fuel, or flames. Yep, that's important. Handy, hang up loop. That's what that's for. You can hang this puppy. Tough, break-resistant polyethylene shade and base. Weatherproof, will not rust or corrode. Now, I give them credit. This has not rusted or corroded in 30, 40, 50 years. So, amen to that. Sturdy, easy to operate switch. You know, you're getting a little desperate when you have to start talking about the switch. But it does have a switch. So, and it is easy to operate. So it is a lamp. I'm not kidding. I had this lamp. So again, there were many things in that house. Some I could not bring myself to buy. But these were only slightly traumatic memories, so I decided to pick them up. So this one was gold. And then, unfortunately, the price is blank. I would have been curious how much it would have sold for back then. There is the remnant of a price tag there on the corner, but I can't really make out what that says or who it would have originally sold by. You know, these are the types of things you get at the Ace Hardware, because there were no Home Depots, there were no Lowe's, you know, like the little mom and pop shops. Leisure lamp. I'm not even sure what brand this is considered. They don't know either. There's literally nothing on here that says who made it. It just says made in the USA. Indoor, outdoor. Yeah, that's really weird. I guess they didn't care. Oh, here we go. Hipwell Manufacturing Company in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And it does have the 5-digit zip code, so we are after 1963, but I would have guessed that. Like I said, I think this is 70s. So anyway, it is an odd little beastie. I think this is just screaming kitsch. Like, whether you are a camper yourself, like whether you would actually want to use this just, to me, put it in an old canoe, you know, those types of vignettes. This is going to be the conversation memory for a lot of people, because a lot of us did grow up with these and maybe not have as many negative memories as I do, but, you know, they were around. And it's only $8. So $8 for the leisure lamp. $8 by giving me number 72. $8.72 for the leisure lamp. And the last item I am offering is my final mystery box. Sorry, couldn't find my number. So, it's the final mystery box. It will come with a maxi pad. And even if you buy more than one, you're going to get a maxi pad in every single one of them, because I've got to get rid of these at some point. So, same rules, just 3 mystery boxes tonight to make up for the fact I only had one last week. So, we've got the third one. This is the last item for the evening. It is $15, just like all the rest. You have to guess the number, and this time the number falls between 20 and 30. Between 20 and 30. Between 20 and 30 is this final mystery box. Again, if you've not, for anything you've purchased this evening, Katie and Nate have been dropping my email address into the chat. Just make sure you send me an email that says, if you've never bought from me before, that gives me your shipping information. That is the only way I will be able to get a hold of you. Even though I can see your chat, even in the repeat, there's nothing that I can click on that will tell me who you are. So that I have no way to reach out to you. Some people don't realize that. So you do need to contact me. Otherwise, I can't even send you the invoice. And if I go too long without hearing from you, you run the risk of me selling your item to the next bidder or throwing it into a mystery box, which I have done more than once. So this last mystery box, hopefully by now somebody's found the number. It was between 20 and 30, and the first person that typed in the number 22 was the winner. So person that had typed in 22, Katie and Nate will put that in the chat. You are the winner of the mystery box. So at this point, I'll be editing the video a little bit because I had a couple of things I needed to take out. I think I'm going to be at around an hour mark right now, maybe a little past. So I'm just going to repeat. There were no auction items ending this week, but at the top of this past hour, this item went up for sale, and so did this. This simply because I forgot to list it last week. I just need to make up and still include it because this was part of the copper luster sale that was very popular last week. I was very happy how it went. I just forgot to put this up. So this one is also going up. This will end next week. And then this one was the one that was always going to be going up, because next week I will be back to my traditional live video and my live sale, and it will be my Christmas in July themed video. So I don't know if it'll be all Christmas, but I do have quite a bit. So it might be all Christmas. We'll have to wait and see. But this is definitely one of them. It's the Holt Howard lookalike that is actually from Capri Creations Philadelphia. Made in Japan, but it says Capri Creations Philadelphia. Just kind of got that Holt Howard look. Super cool piece. Can't find anything that looks like it with sale comps. So figure at this point, I'll put it into the eBay auction and let people figure out what they want to get out of it. And so this will then trigger and be part of the Christmas in July sale on Thursday, July 22nd. So this will end during that. So as I mentioned, I'm going to throw some clips at the end of this video. If you are so inclined, you can continue watching. I will show you, I will have some stills as well as some audio clips from the show that I'm in, which is why I had to pre-record this. So the show ends this weekend, final performances on Sunday. And if you're in the Chicago area, if you want to head out to DeKalb, Stagecoach Players is the When I Grow Up Cabaret. I'm singing a couple of songs, and it's primarily a kids show though. Don't ask me why I'm in it. But so a lot of it's kids singing. I don't have unfortunately, any clips from the kids singing. I only got permission from some of the adults to include them. So I'll throw a couple of those here just to give you an idea. Some people asked, like, oh, I wish we could see what you're doing. I'll show you a little bit, to kind of get you a taste, but doing these live sales is just as much fun to me as being on stage. So I apologize that we're not live. I do like the interaction, even though I'm horrible at maintaining the chat. I love having the opportunity to answer questions. But I hope you've enjoyed this. It may come back again. If I start doing more theater, I might have to pre-record sales, so this might happen again, but at least for the next couple weeks, they will be normal sales. This 22nd will be my Christmas in July sale. And then the 29th, the way things are playing, I will probably be in Nebraska or North Dakota. So I will be doing the sale from a hotel room somewhere in Middle America. So I will give you more details as we go get closer to that. But appreciate you joining me. Appreciate giving me your time. Appreciate you putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. If you have any questions, drop me a chat or drop me an email. Hopefully you were following the chat so you know who won what. And again, if you are interested in seeing some stuff from the show that I'm in, just stick around. It'll run after I sign off. And if not, no worries. I'm sure there's some other things going on. I believe... I'm not sure. I believe Nancy from This Overstuffed House started doing her sales again. I think this is her first week back. So she's been off for medical reasons. I believe she said she's coming off. I hope that's not wrong. Katie will correct me if I am. But so hers would be at 11 p.m. Eastern. I'm out of the habit of promoting her sale because she hasn't had one in a while. So she will be at 11 p.m. Eastern. So come back and make sure you follow This Overstuffed House, catch Nancy's sale, and wish her the best. Hopefully it sounds like she's up and about again, and help her out and join her sale at 11 p.m. Eastern. So thanks again for your time, and I'll talk to you again next week. Bye.
They're more complicated than burgers or fries or guys. Part of growing up is learning all about the opposite sex. You have to treat them real delicately, like a fresh crescent roll right out of the oven. Or else, poof, you're back to square one. Women and sandwiches, some are cold and some hot. But take what they offer, and you'll learn a lot. You're doubtful or dreadful, they burn you before. But trust me, my brother, you'll line up for more. If I were in their skin, I'd treasure every instant out there, strolling by the sand. All I know I learned from telly, this big beautiful box of facts. If you know a thing already, baby, you can turn the channel over just like that.